It's Corner House Chronicles Day. It has been a minute, sirs.
Yeah, one or two episodes went by without acknowledgement.
The holiday break is over. Welcome back to the Corner House Chronicles. I'm John.
I'm Jason.
I'm Aaron.
We are here to celebrate a new year. New me, whatever the saying is, I don't remember. It's something like that.
Insert saying here.
Hashtag something or other. I don't know.
There you go.
So right before we hit record, we were talking about something very interesting, and I had a thought, almost.
An epiphany?
No, not really. It was more of an idea, right?
All right.
We were talking about Bob Ross, and we were playing some drops there. Bob Ross, getting them loaded in the system for future usage. And I had a thought about the Mr. Rogers movie that they made with Tom Hanks. Do you think they'll ever make a Bob Ross movie?
There have been talks about
Has there?
the PBS trilogy.
Okay.
You haven't heard this?
No. But I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool if Will Ferrell played him? Because I think he could pull it off really well if he could be serious enough.
I think he could.
You know, or you just write a comedy script around Bob Ross's life. But anyways.
I don't think they could.
I didn't think of him.
No,
I thought of Ryan Reynolds. With
because
all
of the Deadpool thing?
The happy little trees and all just the...
Yeah.
I think Will Ferrell might be a better fit.
He just looks the part more. It's
Slap
like
a perm on
naturally,
him.
right. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had movies where he looked kind of like minus the beard.
He would definitely look more the part. I don't know, just Ryan Reynolds just with the little, way he talks, like a happy little bush here, and just the way he drops it, serious, but you can...
Yeah, his delivery is nice, yeah.
I think that's what match. Maybe just have him voice over Will Ferrell.
In a very obvious
Stub
way.
it, yeah.
Right?
To where it doesn't sync up quite exactly.
And then you just like put outlines in the back, like little Easter eggs.
Happy little
Easter eggs of who's the guy that Will Ferrell always does the movies with, the brothers.
Lipton? Oh, no.
John C. Reilly.
Yeah.
John C. Reilly, and then Hugh Jackman.
Right. Sacha Baron Cohen. He's been in a couple with him, yeah. What's this PBS thing you were just saying?
The PBS trilogy?
Yeah.
Would be a Mr. Rogers, Bob Ross. Do you remember the third one?
Would it be Sesame Street or no?
No.
No, I don't. It was Green, wasn't it? No, that's the Canadian station.
Yeah, that's Red Green.
That's Red Green. Yeah.
I don't know any other PBS shows that would have been big enough. Carmen Sandiego, maybe.
Right.
There had to have been a third one, obviously.
Hold on, I'm looking it up.
Okay.
Mr. Rogers, Bob Ross go to Fraggle Rock.
So, I mean, I don't know how well the Mr. Rogers movie did. I mean, it's Tom Hanks. I have to assume it did reasonably well.
And I can't see him messing up that part.
He pretty much is Mr. Rogers.
That's what I was going to say. That's like everyone's view of him is...
That and yelling Wilson at the top of his lungs, right?
Right. And you never want to go on a vacation with him.
Right.
All the planes crash. All the boats get taken over.
What happened in the Polar Express? Did the train get...
The train got to... Everything's just bad news when he's in it.
I just think that, why wouldn't you tap into that Bob Ross
World.
Excitement that's going on for
Family
the last
is very
5
protective.
years?
Yeah, the family.
Are they?
Yeah, they have the rights to the name.
They merchandise the shit out of his image, though, dude.
Well, and they
all
make their
in
own
good-
paints and paintbrushes, and it's way overpriced.
Well, you're paying for the name there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
and it's going towards, I don't know how much of it's going towards charity, but I believe some of it is, so it kind
like
of
a Bob
balances.
Ross Foundation,
Yeah.
maybe.
Do you
Okay.
think they come out with just too much, random stuff?
Well,
of his?
if you go into the stores in the mall, like the novelty stores, Box Lunch,
Yeah.
Spencer's, Hot Topic, I mean, his face is on everything. Lunch boxes, notebooks, T-shirts. They got Funkos. I mean, they weren't shy about licensing it out.
It's funny that we got to this conversation. Merry Christmas.
Oh, gosh.
What is it? Oh, jeez. A Bob Ross positive energy drink. I love it.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Neither did I.
Boston America Group.
That's funny.
Corp, sorry.
One of you guys will have to drink it for me, and I'll keep it.
I'm not drinking it. It's going up on the shelf.
Yeah.
I was like, this is going to be perfect for the studio.
Yes.
Comparing the caffeine rate here real
Oh,
quick.
jeez. To Red Bull?
Yeah.
I don't think Bob Ross's family would approve anything higher than.
Red Bull has 14 milligrams more.
Oh. It is pretty sweet.
But
though.
how much more positivity
Yeah,
does
that's
this
true.
can have?
Yeah, Bob Ross don't need wings.
It's a happy little can.
He's already got his, folks. That's pretty cool.
I saw that and I was like, you got to be kidding me. And it was meant to be because there's only 3 left.
Really?
Where did you get them? Like, what kind of... Was it a gas station?
Five
or-
Below.
Oh, all right.
I was there taking my daughter shopping for her
It
siblings.
makes it even better.
And I walked by and I was like, wow, I'll get one for Jason and John. Studio and Jason, I think that'd be cool just to have to put up, you know, on your
I appreciate
wherever
that.
you work or whatever. And I walked away and I stood in line and Abby thought it was great. And I was like, wait, why don't I get me one to put on mine? There was 3 left. So I did. I bought them out.
Hey, run back and get that for me.
I did. I'm like, you stay here.
Or yeah, you hold the place in line. I just Bob Ross is an interesting character, and like I said, lately, this last couple of years, has been like a phenomenon. Like everybody's into it, way more than they were when he was alive and doing his show on a weekly basis.
Some of that, I believe, in my opinion, has to do with he has a Twitch channel where all the people go on and play video games. You watch people. His family allowed one to go on there where any of the money donated, because you can donate to the streamers and everything.
Right.
It goes to the foundation to go to the charity, but it just 24 hours a day streams his
All the
show.
episodes. Yeah.
Is it? Are they available on any other streaming service? Do you know, like Netflix or Hulu or anything, or is it?
Yes.
Are they?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not sure which one, if it's Hulu or Netflix, but it's on one of them.
They probably got some good coin for that too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Shit, some of his original paintings, like the average like bottom barrel price is around $8,000 to $14,000.
I would love to own an original Bob Ross painting.
lot of
that
people
would be
do.
a bucket list item right there.
The family,
for sure.
he kept all of them. He would send some out to fans who would write letters during, like while the show was running, but very few and far between. The family lets out maybe 7 every 4 years
At auction.
at auctions to raise money
for charity,
the foundation.
right?
Yeah.
If they got something
And
big
that's
coming up
yeah,
or
and
whatever.
if it's like dire year for the foundation, they'll
He even
squeak
looks
out.
like fucking Will Ferrell, don't he? I mean, like you look at him and you're like, I could see that as an SNL bit, like for sure.
I'd be surprised if he hadn't done an SNL bit as Bob
Maybe
Ross.
maybe the family won't let it.
Ooh,
Maybe
yeah.
they're like, don't do that. Don't
Please,
don't
yeah.
turn him into a joke because that's not how he lived.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you, we were listening to him talk on them videos he was playing, and doesn't it sound like Phil Robertson from Duck Dynasty?
I've never seen that.
The old man with the, not Uncle Si, not the guy with the gray beard and the teacup, but the other older guy, the head of the family.
Maybe.
If you
I
listen
don't
to
know.
the two of them talk,
Similar.
wow, it's eerie.
Have you ever
You know?
seen a picture of Bob Ross without the perm? Because he hated that perm.
Was it a perm?
Yeah, it was a
Really?
perm.
Poor guy.
But he got it one year, started the show, didn't like it, but he got so popular, he didn't want to
he had to
change it
keep
and
it,
mess
right.
with the fans.
I would have thought he liked having long hair after, what do you say, 20 years in the military? He probably didn't have a whole lot of long hair then,
And I didn't know. You were telling me he was a drill instructor?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Right?
You know what, though?
Doesn't he look like Waylon Jennings a little bit?
He does look like a young Waylon Jennings, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
That's Bob Ross, no shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I did. But that him being a drill instructor kind of explains all the extreme positivity,
And how he said living in a world that wasn't his.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
doing other man's
Yep.
work.
You should post that to the page. That's a lot of people don't know. I've never seen that picture. That's
No.
insane.
Yeah, we'll get that out there.
I didn't know that was him.
We'll get a picture of the can out there, too.
He was a drill instructor. What a life. Like, I wonder where in his life. See, that would be a good plot for the movie, right? Coming out of being a drill instructor and just hooking into.
He probably might have been like the Bob Ross we all know. Got a job in that, was offered a drill instructor, and then was paid way more than the actual soldiers.
Yeah, but for him to pull that off, that had to been either really good acting or really crazy life change, in my opinion.
Well, he said that's what he used to do during the service. Is after he'd do his day's work,
That's
he'd
how
go
he would-
home and he'd paint, and that's
beat up
what
that brush.
Yeah, beat the devil out of it.
That was his escape.
That was the balance to keep himself.
What I always thought was interesting was like the correlation between him and Mr. Rogers, personality-wise. Like when they did their show, they were doing it to better people, right? For the benefit of them.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, no mistakes, happy accidents, right?
Right.
Like Mr. Rogers, he would get a bunch of fan mail, and one of it was from a blind girl, and she said on one of the episodes he mentioned a fish tank and the fish he had, and she was worried they weren't being fed because he wouldn't say when they were feeding them. So after that letter, he made it a point for every episode to say, I'm feeding the fish right now, so she would know that he was taking care of the fish. And Bob Ross got a letter from a guy saying, I wish I could paint, but I'm colorblind, so it's kind of pointless for me. So he did a whole show where he painted in grayscale. Just to say, like, hey, anyone can do this.
Right.
Don't let that be a barrier for you.
More than that, to say that I'm listening to you people.
Yeah.
Like I'm listening. I'm actually listening to my fan base. Fan base is a weird word because it's more like family with something like that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think? Like Mr. Rogers probably didn't consider people fans. He probably felt more of a family vibe from them than anyone.
His neighborhood. His neighborhood was just large.
Yeah.
Right.
He would go visit people. He would call them. He wouldn't it wouldn't let out or make a big deal out of it because it was personal. But he did a lot of things for the people that watched his show.
I do want to see that movie because I'm sure Tom Hanks did it justice. I have to assume.
You would have to assume.
You know, and it wasn't a stretch for him to pull that off, I don't think, unless he's really good at, like he's pulling a Bob Saget on everybody, and nobody knows Tom Hanks is just a ruthless villain when he's at home in his environment.
I mean, even you follow him on Instagram, he posts pictures of the gloves or shoes.
Yeah.
When he finds one,
Tom Hanks does.
Yeah. Looking for his friend, found it at this corner.
Oh.
I mean, I think sometime in the next 10 years, you'll probably get that movie watched.
Me?
Yeah,
personally,
with the rate
yeah,
that you watch movies.
Yeah, that's true. I thought you were going to the 10 years we'll see a Bob Ross movie. I'm like, shit, trademark. We should write that script.
I wouldn't be surprised if one comes out soon.
I would just assume somebody had to have by now. What them guys that do all the comedy movies, the Coen brothers or something, maybe they'll get a hold of an idea and
I don't think they would allow a Bob Ross to be a.
That's the thing is I don't think the family's going to
That's
give up
true. I don't
anything.
think about that. I never think about that aspect of it
because they're so protective of his legacy.
Right.
That in any of them that's the problem with Hollywood. Anyone that comes in wants to put their touch on it. They're like, no, it's no one's touch but his.
Wouldn't it be crazy to find out Bob Ross had some like secret past? Like I was saying before, that meme about all his paintings are where he hides the bodies, it's just funny talk, whatever. But what if when he was a drill instructor, some crazy things happened in his life, and like that secret is why they're so protective? It's like what's in the briefcase in Pulp Fiction, like no, you don't know, but everybody kind of alludes to it, like Bob Ross, yeah.
Well, they thought
he was happy.
They thought Mr. Rogers was a Marine sniper. There was a backstory about that for a long time.
They probably heard Bob Ross was a drill instructor, and they're like, well, Rogers has got to be a sniper then.
We got to give him something. Or maybe he was. Shit, who knows? You wonder, sometimes I wonder.
You notice every time he came into the show, he was changing? Where do you think he was?
Coming from a hit.
I never see him throw all his clothes in a trash bag and burn it, but,
He was feeding the fish, though, that's for sure. It was probably the body. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah. It's funny, like, I wonder why more people don't do movies like that, but then again, with the legacy and the family and stuff, you wonder. I'll tell you guys, if I ever die, let them write whatever they want about me.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Could it be a spaghetti western style?
Sure.
All right.
Put me in the most unique, awkward situations. I don't care. You have my permission.
Kind of like the Diary of a Wimpy Kid, just make it a series.
Yeah, absolutely.
What if it was like Weekend at Bernie's and it picked up once you died?
That's cool, man. Make some money off of it. Whatever you got to do.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, sure. I'm not here.
It's a reality show.
Hey, in today's world, it would probably sell #1 in all markets, for sure. People are messed up. They watch some weird stuff. Something else happened to me today I wanted to bring up to you guys just to see if you had some weird story you wanted to share. Have you ever gotten hurt at work, but it was your fault?
Oh, yeah.
100%, and as soon as you get hurt, I personally was more upset with myself for
Oh, yeah, you
getting
feel
hurt
stupid.
than I was hurt.
Oh yeah.
I jumped on the high-low and wasn't paying attention and bashed my kneecap along the side of it. Just
Ooh.
boom, full force. Went right to the ground. Oh, man, it was one of those, like...
Cold chills.
yeah, where you like your whole world comes to tunnel vision. Like, I thought I was going to black out from the pain, but I was so upset with myself. Like, why did I do that?
Like, way to go,
I've
dumbass.
jumped on that same high-low and smacked my head on the overhead bar. Oh, just being a jackass, in
yeah.
a hurry. Thump. That one took me to the ground, too.
What's that Pixar movie where all the emotions are in the head? Inside. No.
Is it
Yeah,
Inside Out?
Inside Out.
Yeah.
Just picture your brain going through with like anger.
Absolutely.
Like, we're not shutting this down.
Right.
You're gonna live with this.
Get up and walk it off. But the sad part of me
Do
is
it
like,
again.
I just broke my kneecap.
Empathy's like, but you don't. Go to your room.
Right. Oh, it was so brutal. It made me wonder, though, if you could you recall any stories where you hurt yourself? Don't mention the job if you don't want.
Well,
But
I won't say the name of the place.
I
but
know we had a
worked at
collective place that we got hurt at a couple of times. The pizzeria.
I don't think I got hurt there.
No?
No.
I took a couple bottle caps. Anyways,
Well, I thought you meant like injured,
yeah.
not just like messing around. I was training somebody at a previous warehouse job, and they lifted a heavy box the wrong fashion. And I was like, dude, you want to grab it by the bottom because you can't trust that tape. You don't know how long it's been sitting there. Whatever's in there could fall out, smack your foot, whatever.
Right.
About 10 minutes later, I went to pick one of those boxes up, and I grabbed it the same way the trainee did, and the tape gave, and it smacked right on my foot. And I was wearing tennis shoes. And I was just like, oh, man. Thankfully, I didn't have the trainee with me right then. And I was just standing there thinking, like, oh, God, it hurts. Move your foot. And I was like, no. That you're accepting what happened there. And I was just so mad at myself, like, dumbass, you just got done telling this guy.
done telling this person not to do what you just did. Yeah. That's fun.
It was not fun, but it was funny, like, ironically, afterward.
Oh, man.
So I worked at this place in a warehouse type thing, and you're moving. When orders come in, you have to move these. Lack of better terms, they're almost like small crates, but they're on wheels.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, so they're just
Kind of like a Gaylord almost.
Yeah, go about knee high, maybe a little higher, and they got 4 little wheels on them. And when you move them to the one section to go over to the shipping section, there's a little decline, and they're kind of strapped. So if you're taking 2 of them, you kind of go over the decline, and then you just like gymnastics it, hold your arms straight, lift your legs, and
And
you
it
just
carries you down.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, that's asking for trouble.
So the wheels on the things that roll are really plastic and cheap. So when you blow out one of those wheels, the crate tips over and
Oh.
it smacks. And yeah, had to explain, like, it was crazy, man. That wheel just blew out. And it was that corner that way it shifted in front of me. Well, my momentum was already walking, and it was so spontaneous that I tripped over it. And it was a long explanation to realize that $5,000 thing was broken.
right. So they were way flimsier than like a shopping cart wheel.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
a lot more plastic.
Those things are terrible.
Oh, God, they're horrible. Because you don't know what direction they're going to
Nope.
go in. They hit a pebble, and it's like, go left.
Yep. Or you get the one that just spins.
So we've all been in hospitals, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know the tables that they got that roll around?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You know those little wheels on there, the little plastic things, seems like if you step
That's
on
what
them,
you
they'll
were
crack.
working with?
Yeah, it's those type of wheels. Slightly bigger.
Right.
No, probably not.
Was there a lot of weight in said container?
Enough.
Okay. I mean, obviously, if it spilled everywhere when it tipped, yeah.
I mean, you did increase speed nicely.
I can just picture you, like you're working the gymnastics beams. Just
Yeah, you just tuck the arms tight, close.
you weren't worried about the backs
the
of
legs
them,
a little bit.
like kind of kicking out on you.
Well, I
or-
think-
As long as you keep your arms straight and against your body,
And you're in the right spot towards the back. then
and
they
your
can't-
legs you're going to lift up so that they're parallel to the ground.
Right.
And then so those are like up against your legs because
Okay.
it doesn't matter if that's up against because the wheels are down below.
That's true.
But if they don't take care of the ground, the asphalt, the concrete, and there's cracks and rocks and Other things.
This was, I'm guessing, long before everywhere was on security camera footage too. So there wasn't probably any footage of this happening, was there?
Hopefully.
I generally didn't work the main shift, and I don't know how often they checked it.
Do you remember when we worked at said pizzeria and the one girl had walked up front? I don't know if you guys might not have been there when it happened, but you might have saw the footage. She walked like around the corner after they mopped and slipped and fell.
No.
And
I was in the back and heard it.
her legs went up. You know, she was fine, but we can joke about it now. It's so many years later, right? Statute of limitations or
Because
something.
didn't we go look at the
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I heard it, and
she
then we
yelled,
watched
"I'm
it.
fine," so we didn't have to go check on her, and we went right to the camera.
We were like, oh, shit.
No, I think that was before my time there.
Like,
Or-
let's see. So the
Where the hot box was, you come around the corner
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
the register. She
Yeah.
slipped right there, and that camera above the register caught it.
feet definitely cleared
Oh yeah,
easily.
3
Yeah.
to 4 feet off there.
Easily.
Nice.
Like almost a 360. The ground just got in the way.
I
Oh,
forget.
man.
And it wasn't a solid smack because it was wet. It was
Ooh,
like that, you know,
okay.
that wet swap.
yeah.
I never seen anyone really get hurt there, like hurt. But I did see some stupid things happen.
Yeah.
Like a younger gentleman was mixing the sauce.
Stuck his hand in there
No, he went to
Oh.
take the whole drum off the mixer
and dumped it.
halfway on himself, and he couldn't like get back up because he was crouched down. And he was like, "Help!" And everyone's just kind of like, "Why did you even take that off like that? Why didn't you ask for someone to help you?"
Didn't you notice always two people take that off?
Right.
Team lift, baby.
Right.
He thought he could do it by himself. He didn't spill that much, but it got all over his person.
That's awesome.
Oh, it was great.
There were so many good things that happened there in our tenure. Hilarious moments. Yeah, I'm one to. I don't know if I've ever stated this on the podcast before, but I've had a lot of jobs in my history, bounced around from this to that, a little bit of everything, and those things are sweet.
Where was that?
In our day.
Yeah, right.
Just get
We'd have definitely hurt somebody with that.
Oh, yeah.
so it's a video of this bottle cap remover, but it doesn't let go of it. It's plastic, rectangular. So when you take the bottle cap off, it puts it right into a shooter that's already spring loaded that you can then fire.
Kind of like a little Nerf disc
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Could you imagine like preloading that and just getting like a 2x4 or something and just walking in and be like, pew, 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 pew.
I don't know. I think there were a few
Or add a
crew
button
members that had
fires
more
them all at
velocity
once?
than what that thing could do.
Did you see what Chris did with the Nerf gun spring? Oh, I'm not saying stock.
No, of course not. We'd zoop them up.
What if we could alter a Nerf gun to shoot those somehow?
You probably could.
That would be cool.
You ever seen the video where they had CO2 to Nerf guns?
Oh,
Shoot the darts like a quarter mile.
No, I
just
don't
like-
think I have actually, but I can imagine what you're talking
Oh.
about. Absolutely. That would be fun.
When engineers get bored, interesting things happen.
Yeah. I was just saying I had a lot of jobs. I've seen a lot of crazy shit, but
Oh, yeah.
the things that happened at said pizzeria were way funner.
It was a
The
good place
games
to
we
work.
came up with and
Yeah.
the time we killed in the summer. And a certain French guy. That was fun too. It's crazy. I like if you go in pizzerias now, like I notice things that I did,
Oh, yeah.
you know. But nothing ever seems as fun as what we had going on.
no, it was the perfect storm.
It was.
I think
And we were at the age that we were wise enough to know how to get away with most of it
Right.
yeah.
and
Antagonize
dumb
a
enough
little bit of
to
it.
still do it.
Right. Well, yeah, because we worked with a lot of younger crowd.
Yeah.
So we got kind of sucked into that sometimes.
And they trusted us. They valued our opinion, which we took advantage of regularly.
Problem number one. We should have probably wore like warnings.
Trust no one.
Right. Especially us. Yeah, that I'll tell you. Where we started, man. I think I thought I broke my knee when I hit it on that high-low, boy. Whew.
The worst part, if you did that within like the first hour or two of work,
It was
No.
early.
and knowing like the rest of the day, you're like, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the first like hour you can't put any weight on it.
Nope.
You're like gimping around.
But if you got to get everything ready and
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have time to sit down. That's for sure. It hurt.
yeah,
I did. There was another time I was having a terrible night, and because I wear these stupid cheap Velcro shoes, the soles are just like basically ice. They're slicked out.
Yeah.
Nothing's there, and the floor of my warehouse gets dusty. So it's like an ice rink sometimes, especially with shoes like I have. And I was being kind of an ass, and I threw something. And my weight just kind of spun me around and flunk right on the ground. And somebody was there with me and watched it happen. And she was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Nothing's hurt but my pride.
She wanted to laugh so bad, but her
I'd have
instinct
loved
would,
a minute. Toe pick.
Oh man. If I was in a funnier frame of mind, that's probably where I would have went with it too. But it was brutal. Again, I wasn't mad that I got hurt.
No,
because it hurt. I hit the
yeah.
ground hard.
That's just a dent to the pride because somebody's seen it. Yeah.
I felt such an idiot.
I'll give her a lot of respect for holding back the laughter because I would not. If I would have been like, ha ha.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would have laughed at myself 100%.
Okay. To kind of coattail on this topic, have you ever worked a job where, let's say, you walked around the corner and seen someone like fuck up royally? Or just something that just stopped you dead in your tracks? Like, how the fuck did this happen?
That was a regular, like a weekly thing at the pizzeria. Yeah, absolutely. I would see moments like that all the time.
Yeah.
I've had them in other jobs, yes.
Anything that like comes to mind?
Give me a second. Hold on. I wasn't ready for that one. Something that stopped me dead in my tracks. Just what the fuck
Well,
moment.
while you're thinking,
It was probably when he stuck his hand in the mixer when the sauce was running.
While it was actually
Yeah.
mixing.
We were throwing bottle caps and one landed in there. He was like, "We got to get that out." Well, hit the stop button. No, I got this. And he stuck his arm right in there. And I was like, "Oh my God, I could totally see his hand just getting mangled up in that thing."
For the folks at home who don't know exactly what we're talking about, if you ever seen like a regular mixer people have in their kitchen, imagine an industrial one.
Yes.
Where the bowl is about 3 foot tall.
Right.
And the actual mixer is about 4 to 4.5 feet tall.
Yeah, if you watch any cooking show on TV, you'll see what the mixer.
Yeah, they're huge. But
stuck his hand right in it.
put your hand in a moving industrial whatever is
Yeah.
never a good idea.
Yeah. That one definitely stands out. I'll never forget that.
I was working in a warehouse, and part of my job was to keep track of inventory of specific items that were high dollar.
Okay.
So I was walking through the part of the warehouse where it's all the larger stuff, and you need a lot of like heavier equipment, like forklifts, high-lows, all that fun shit.
Knee busting high-lows. Right, right, absolutely.
There's one called the order picker, which is a stand-up pallet jack kind of thing that raises up in the air.
Right.
So you can go and grab something, come back down.
For the record, I'm not good on those. I don't like heights.
I was great on those.
Right.
But I was walking, and I turned a corner, and I seen one. The gentleman had it almost to the limit of height and was driving around
Oh,
and
my
took
goodness.
a corner, and it tipped.
Oh.
I think I've seen that video. It hits a rack, and then all the racks.
Exactly. You've seen something like that, exactly like that, but the racks didn't fall. He just had his piece of equipment tilted on an angle. He's at the very top in a harness, but he didn't fall off. He's still standing on it with one hand on a rack, which was kind of stupid because if it did fall, he was...
Dude, yeah, that could rip him in half.
Oh, easily. But he was a younger gentleman and who just got certified on this so he could do it by himself. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, "You okay?" He's like, "I messed up." That's all he said. And I was like, "Yeah."
Clearly.
Yeah. I was like, I'll go get someone.
You sit tight, buddy.
Yeah. I was like, "Don't move too much."
Did you train him?
I did not, no.
It was the guy from the boxes.
No, I went and got my buddy. I was like, "Hey, how do we untip a high-low or something of that effect? Is there like protocol on this?" And he was like, "No." I was like, "How would you do it? I got some ideas. I just want to get some fresher ideas." He's like, "Why?" And I was like, somebody tipped a fucking order picker.
Follow me.
So by the end of it, there was about 14 people huddled around at a safe distance, watching as another order picker came up and hooked up and then started backing up, trying to untip him.
Ooh, man.
Yeah, that kid almost shit his pants.
You sit tight. I think we got this.
Yeah, he's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Hold on." No, literally, hold on to something because we're going to untip you. Don't fall off.
Doesn't matter now. You're in for the whole ride.
Yeah, dude, you done did it now. Yikes. Now, that video you were talking about where the high-low backs into the shelf and they all fall over,
Domino
my
style.
biggest fear is doing something colossal like that at work. And not necessarily where I work because I don't have a whole lot of shelving, but I've been in places like that before, you know. Oh, that was the biggest worry.
I had that feeling. I worked at an airport.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to make a mistake there.
So we loaded and unloaded crates onto planes. I was new. So they trained me on the high-low for an hour
That's all you need.
of just,
button
moving the
does this.
forks over
Right.
by quarters, pushing them, lifting them, picking up this garbage thing, putting it on this trailer. And I was like, yeah, they feel comfortable? And I'm like, yeah, all right, I'm getting the hang of this. Like, good, we got to go load a plane.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, okay. And for those that don't know, I don't see too well at dark, and I work midnights at the airport. First time ever using this. That was interesting. So we get up to the plane, taking it off the truck. No problem. I can see. All good. Take it over to the plane, start lifting it. And the guy training me goes, all right, now the key here is you can't fuck up or else you're going to break the plane. If you go too low, they won't be able to shut the doors and you're going to puncture it. If you go too high, you'll break the door off. And if you go too deep pushing it in, it'll go out the other side. That's when I learned there's really not much to planes.
No, they're pretty thin.
Yeah.
Just a giant tube.
I'm like, well, how often does that happen? He's like, people put forklifts through planes before. So you think an hour was enough for this? There's only one way to find out.
Right.
Good luck.
Get in the fire.
He's like, just remember, the pilot is going to be up there directing you.
Oh, jeez.
Because it's out of sight.
Yeah.
The plane's higher than the forklift.
Yeah,
You're almost
absolutely.
up at the top.
Right.
He goes, so as long as you do everything he does immediately,
Immediately.
he is
Responsible.
responsible for everything.
Right.
I said, all right.
I can do that.
Soon as I get it up to the height and I start moving it, it's when I realize we're at an airport. He's in a plane. I'm, 10 foot down below him? And I can only hear out one ear.
So are you wearing ear protection since you're
I was
out?
just going to say, was the plane running? Because you ain't hearing nothing.
Some do.
Yeah.
Yes. That's when I realized not being able to see or hear with an hour training on a forklift
Probably a bad setup.
could be interesting.
Did you break any planes?
No, I did not break any planes.
That's good.
Nice.
Almost.
I did work at
Very, very close.
I did work at the airport. I saw some crazy things there. I saw a lady hit the chute release.
Yeah.
Ooh. It was like a $20,000 fine, and she lost her job or some crazy
Yep.
shit like
Wow.
that. Yeah, and it was an accident.
Because they have to have a certified team come out and install it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has to be inspected before the plane can leave the ground. Ooh. So that plane's grounded.
Which is crazy because you don't need that until the plane hits the ground. At that point, I mean, it's like, well, it worked or it didn't work, but we've already crashed.
It's just like parachutes. They have to be packed and checked before.
That was one of the most surreal moments I've ever experienced in my life was watching human beings pack parachutes. It stood
there's a
out
lot of
to
trust
me.
there.
Oh, my goodness. I was like, yo.
Don't we have droids for this yet?
And they were like, there's like 6 or 7 of them, and they're all, it's in a barn down where you skydive, and they're all just kind of joking around with each other as they're packing these chutes, and I'm
Nonchalantly.
just like, no way. Even with 10 years of training, I would still be super nervous about packing somebody else's parachute. You know what I mean? I'd be nervous about packing my own parachute after 10 years of experience.
Not that I'd ever do that stuff, but I would definitely be the guy that when that nervous person goes, have you been doing this long? I'm like, no, yours was the first one. I watched the video just before I did it.
I got an hour of training.
It was the same lady that does that cool shirt folding, so
Yeah.
I know it's legit.
It's out on YouTube. Don't worry, I subscribe to the channel. It's fine. It's fine.
It was. I remember standing there in that moment. I'll never forget it. I was like, you don't even know the power you're holding. Well, they might, but
Oh yeah, they have to.
to me, I was just like, man, that's crazy. I don't know that I could trust myself.
So something that jumped in my mind really quickly while this was going on is like, all right, if you're one of the guys who have been doing this for 10 plus years, you've made so many jumps, whatever, you're the person that the first timer gets strapped to. Would you sew in a fake chute pull into your harness so that way you're going and be like, pull the blue one, and they pull it and it comes off and they're like, ah. I'm like,
Okay, having been skydiving,
Because I would find that to be hilarious.
dude, you could give somebody a heart attack in
This is
midair.
true.
So
I went
Yeah.
a completely different way with that. Much lower.
I agree.
Just visit Lover's Lane, get a little Derulo special.
Ooh, wrong one.
Because they're going to be backed right up against you.
Like, whoa, you got a good grip.
Like, is that a harness? No, it ain't.
Not anymore.
I get excited on these
I'm
jumps.
just happy to parachute again. Or save it for when you land. Like, we lived. No, man. I don't.
That'd be kind of addictive.
I think it would be
Literally.
hilarious.
Oh,
If you were doing it to a fellow skydiver, maybe.
Maybe.
Like if we both had 10 plus years and you messed with my chute or I messed with, but to mess with somebody who was a first timer like that, I don't know, man.
So that's, I guess, why I thought of not fucking with the chute, just their
Fucking
mind.
with the person. Right.
Like, they'll forget all about them jumping out of a plane. Like, what is that?
Yeah. Oh. What's that against my back?
Just a
keep
support
your
beam.
hands on the harness at all times.
Just a support beam.
Right. I don't know. Should we be worried that that's the first place your brain
Yeah,
went?
we're
or
kind
what?
of weird. Yeah.
You want to go skydiving?
No.
Oh.
Let me know next time you're going and where you're going. Give those guys a tip.
Just the tip.
All right. I'll make sure you're the first phone call I make.
Wow.
That I'll tell you what though, that would be a good prank if you could somehow set up, like, say you were going to prank me and you knew I was going to where you could get with the person jumping like that. Yeah. If as long as I didn't have a heart attack.
Yeah.
'Cause that
You
would be
may after that.
dude. I almost had a heart attack just skydiving alone. If the guy would have pulled out a Derulo special or whatever the guy's name is. Somebody else nicknamed it a Black Friday.
Oh.
Yikes. Where do you go from there?
Well, how about them Lions?
Ooh. That was a brutal season. I'll tell you, I predicted them to be way better than that.
I know.
That backfired on me real bad.
I remember you saying, and I believe Rick was even in that boat.
No, I was.
Me and Rick were on the other
Yeah.
side of that boat that
Oh,
made
okay.
money.
There was more than just the two of them.
Have you heard the going-ons about like the how the Fords did an open letter to the fans?
Was this before or after that banner in the crowd a couple of weeks ago
Shortly
at Ford
after.
Field?
Shortly after.
That was hilarious.
Oh, that was great.
I think it made the TV too, right?
Yeah, they got shots of it.
You got some airplay.
I saw it was a local news channel had shared it on the face space there.
But apparently the letter from the Fords to the fans was pretty much like, yeah, didn't go as how we hoped, but blah, da, 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 da. There's always next year. We're not going to be raising the prices of the season tickets. We're actually going to lower some of them so it's more
Right.
affordable because we want the fans to experience it.
Beers are up $2.
They actually listed in the letter, we were very competitive and led.
12 out of the, I forget, 14
Yeah.
games?
I think the first 12 games they led in the fourth
Yeah.
quarter of every game.
That was their big sales pitch.
They seriously used that in the letter?
They sure did.
Wow. And then they gave Patricia and the GM another year.
Mm.
Only because Stafford got hurt.
So there's a rumor
That's the sound.
about that banner.
What about it?
There's a rumor that the team may get sold next year or the year after.
I'm not going to tell you who I heard is in the market to buy an NFL franchise.
Oh, it's the same person.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
it's
say.
already in all the papers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Bezos?
Santa Bezos?
Yeah.
That's
He's
what I
already had
call him.
Man, could
2
you,
private meetings with the Ford family.
and phone meetings.
Yeah. Per sources.
Would you buy season tickets if he bought it to the Detroit Prime?
That's funny.
Those tickets would get to your house so quick.
That was good. That was like you set it up and he spiked it. That was nice. I wouldn't buy season tickets no matter who the owner is, to be honest with you. But I get
I
it.
didn't
Yeah,
get an answer.
right. Rhetorical joke.
Just imagine the little smiley face on the side of Ford Field. Oh, it wouldn't be Ford Field.
50-yard line. What would they call it? Well, no, it would still be Ford Field.
No,
right?
No, they'd
Ford
rename
wouldn't
it.
own it.
They wouldn't own the team, but they still own the building. So
Building may-
they could.
I think the city is involved with
I don't know.
part ownership of the building. So
But he would probably buy all of
he
it
would buy the whole
outright.
thing,
So
yeah.
what would he call Ford Field?
Amazon.
Oh yeah.
Amazon Field.
Yeah.
Or Amazon
to the
Stadium.
jungle.
Ooh, well, they are the Lions.
Yeah.
Hey,
No,
oh
it's
shit.
Prime.
No, that's not serious. He's not changing the name to Prime, right? You're messing with me?
It'll be the.
Why wouldn't he?
No, you're messing.
Why wouldn't he?
Well, because
You'd have-
Welcome to the Jungle
Wait,
fits with the
wait.
Lions.
If you paid more, you'd have the option to call it the Prime.
It'd be Prime seating. That's what it would be.
Ooh, think about that. Right? You're a season ticket holder.
The seats
The
are
benefits you would get.
reclining.
Maybe it'd be a discount if you're a Prime member.
You could order your food on the app.
On the app, the Amazon app.
15-minute
God.
delivery.
Yes, dude.
Tracking my fucking order. Where's my nacho?
There'd be drones all over the inside.
Oh, wow.
It'd be pretty fucking cool.
Dude, so
You just got excited.
the drone comes in with your French fries and you're watching it because the app is telling you it's over the 40-yard line. And then the camera
Oh.
that's flying over the field hooked to the cables, smash right over.
On your app, 4 seats away.
Oh, I was thinking on the app, he'd be like, to the 40, to the 30, to the 10. Section 408. You're like, oh, it's so close. It comes up intercepted.
Your food is leaving the concession. And then, so maybe somebody could hack into it, like steal your app, like an interception.
Oh,
no, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Now
But
you're
it
just
would
taking
be
this really
crazy.
crazy down here.
If they had fucking drones delivering food in the stadium, that would be nutty.
He's got the money.
Nutty. Why wouldn't Mark Cuban have like teamed up with Bezos and brought him into the Dallas Mavericks or Jerry Jones? Like,
Bezos don't work with anyone.
No, neither does. Cuban doesn't really like. That's his baby. The Mavericks are.
Oh,
his
yeah. He
baby.
overpaid just to get what he wanted.
Oh, yeah.
and he got one championship or maybe two. I don't know how many
Oh,
they've
he's still
won,
making
but
money.
He's
oh, I
100%.
Oh, yeah.
It ain't even about the money. He don't even mind losing money.
He
on
likes
that.
hanging out with the players.
right, sitting
Cussing out
courtside.
the
I get it.
refs.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
What the thing I don't know about the Ford selling the Lions though is why would you sell your right to print money?
For a lot of money.
Yeah, but
And it's just a hobby to them. They still own Ford Motor Company. So
right. No, I get that.
That's just a little side project. that's
So they
bringing that shit down the
essentially they would be selling the team to benefit the city and the fans of the team, not themselves.
line. Oh, they make a
They're gonna, but they don't
ridiculous
need
amount
it.
of money.
You know?
Well, that is one of the biggest hang-ups is the money.
Yeah.
So I listen to a lot of other podcasts like Drew and Mike, and they have the No Filter Sports with Paige and
Yeah.
McLean, and so they've both been talking about it. Obviously the team would sell for billions.
Yeah.
The biggest problem is then all that money would go to Mama Ford, and when she passes, they would have to pay so much to where the difference between them selling it when she's alive versus dead is like the cost would be some astronomical millions, close to billions in money they have to give up.
Right.
Whereas if she passes, it goes all the way down to like 200 million.
Oh, wow.
We're talking a lot of money. Like one of the guys had a accountant or a tax specialist look it all up and do all the figures and send it in. So if Bezos wanted it while they're alive, he would probably have to pay
Cover that cost.
even more. And
Right.
that's probably where a lot of the negotiations are.
I wonder what the Lions are worth. I mean, you can look it up obviously and get the exact number, but what would you guess without looking it up?
What's the last team that sold?
That's a good question.
I'd say 1.5 billion. It's probably lowball, but
I probably would have said 2, so yeah, we're in the same boat essentially. That still seems low, don't it? For an
really,
NFL
for a team,
franchise, I
yeah.
mean,
considering how much some players make.
well, that and fuck what they charge for tickets. They sell out every home game for a
Yeah.
terrible product. They're still selling out every home game.
But if Bezos did come in,
All right. So Cowboys, September 2019, according to Forbes, Cowboys 5.5 billion.
That's the number one.
It's number one.
Okay. So
So I think we're in the ballpark.
So what'd you say?
he said
1.5.
1.5. We're gonna. I might lower it to 900 million now.
I'm gonna go up to 2.
Think so? I mean, you got the Steelers,
It's
the
the
Patriots. Yeah, but as far as the NFL franchise value, I would think Lions are probably middle, 15th, 16th ranked. $2 billion seems that's a good guess. Like I said,
Yeah.
when we were in the same boat.
It's a
there,
nice
but
neighborhood to be cruising around in.
Drop it down to 1 might be more realistic, though.
But they don't want to sell.
They don't.
No.
And if he has to pay off the fees that they're going to have to,
Yeah.
it's a,
Let's see. 2018 Panthers cost
in the messed up thing.
2.3 million. No.
Okay.
Million or
No,
billion?
it would be billion.
It's an M after, so it's
Million.
2320 million.
2320.
And the Cowboys are worth
So that'd be
$5
that would be
billion?
that'd be 2.3 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2014 the Bills 1.5 billion. Browns 1 billion.
Yeah, the Lions
2000
got to be worth 2.
2011 the Jacksonville Jaguars 875 million.
Ooh.
And they're about to go to Europe.
But you got to think, a lot of those teams,
They'd
they
be
had
like-
like 4 or 5 people go in to buy them. Where Bezos would just walk in and be like, all right,
Right, who do I make the check out to again? Or do you want that in cash?
I'll have delivered Prime.
Season tickets in the Prime. Welcome to the jungle end zone.
He would update the training facility. He would dump so much fucking money into that.
Detroit
See, now I would think that would be like the dumbest business move
Why?
because
All right, September of this year, the Freep Detroit Lions second least valuable NFL team, 1.95 billion.
so we were close,
Yeah, we're in the neighborhood.
and they're the second least. Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
Jags are probably the worst.
I was going to say Cleveland, but
Oh, yeah, that might have been no, because they've turned it around quite a bit.
Let's see, they are mere 500 million behind the Bengals, so that's the 30th.
Wow. The second worst valued team, $2 billion. No big
Hey.
deal. Bezos to be able to pay that shit off, like in cash, probably.
The Bills are the only team below. It's my team.
Bills Mafia.
Hey, they're
And they put up winning records and go
Oh,
to playoff games.
Yeah.
It's that damn cold.
It's those tables.
Well, I'll tell you what, it ain't for their fan base because their fan base is one of the gnarliest, most loyal fan bases in the NFL for sure. I got respect for that, especially when they get out there and throw each other through tables and stuff,
Or when they miss the tables.
or when they miss. Yes. I don't care how high you are. If you fall on the ground and it's cold outside,
It's not a good time.
inside or outside of a warehouse.
Man.
Poor Lions.
Well,
The Detroit Prime. That's what we should just start calling them.
the Detroit Prime.
For sure. Or did you hear that someplace else?
No.
Or- okay, trademark.
Trademark.
Get Bezos on the phone.
Just get a website created.
DetroitPrime.com. That's it.
Aaron's like, well,
I'm on it. $35.
hey, Bezos, you want in on this?
Mm-hmm. Hey, it worked for that dude with the Marvel movies.
Did it?
Yeah. He would be dumb to change it from the Lions, though. Really,
He wouldn't change it from the Lions.
that would
But if you change the name of the stadium,
the stadium those happen all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, to change the name of the team would be just he'd be just burning money at that point.
5Gs, DetroitPrime.com.
whoosh,
Bezos already bought it, and he's just
Probably.
teasing people. Give me $5,000 so I could wipe my ass with it. All that came from books, right? All that he started selling
Yeah.
books, and now books are a rare thing anymore. All these kids reading on their phones and shit.
yeah, it's true. You don't see too many kids walking around with books.
Mm-mm. We got a whole house full of them.
My son.
Yeah, but they don't. It's easy at that young age, though.
I think all your kids are into. I think your boy is more into it, but
Yeah, the oldest will read more than I think her peers do for fun.
Mhm.
The middle one, hell no.
when they're grounded from their phones, they read a book.
Yeah, middle one has no interest in that at all.
I was the same way. Still am. I'm just not a big reader. I own books that I've purchased that I want to read. I haven't read them yet.
Much like you own movies.
Well, I don't really buy movies. Those are for the kids. I have been debating on what movie I want to see, though.
Yeah.
I want to go to the movies.
To see it.
Yeah. I'm holding off for Ghostbusters,
Oh, my God.
but I don't know how long that's going to be.
July.
Oh, man. I don't know if I can go 7 months without going to the theater.
Sonic comes out in February.
There you go.
I don't know
Take
if I
the
want to see
kids.
that either. Even with the remake that they did to the character.
They did a good job on
They
that.
caught some backlash on that,
Yeah.
boy. Oof.
Star Wars just came out.
Yep.
I'm not a fan of that. I want a Bob Ross movie to go see.
Kevin Smith's movie's out.
Jay and Silent Bob.
I think it's already going to DVD.
probably
He's still doing the tour. It was a limited
a
theater
limited
run.
release, and then they're doing a bigger release. from
I
what
do want to see
understand.
that movie, that's for sure.
He came up here. And did
Yeah,
the
I had to
Q&A
work
after.
that night. We went the last time they were here. It was great. It was a fun time. Here's a question. If you could meet one director or writer or producer, anybody in the industry, you got anybody that stands out to you that you would want to... They have to be alive, though. This ain't one of them games where you can travel through time. Or if you want to just name the movie, we can figure out who the person was before. Mine's still J.J. Abrams. And I don't even like none of his new stuff. I'm not a fan of what he's been doing, but I'd still like to talk to him.
Oh, he's been doing Star Wars, so yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Abrams is
He
up
did
there.
Star Trek, didn't he?
He did both.
Yeah. Did he do both? Well, I didn't know about the Star Wars.
I don't. Kevin Smith just seems like one of the best people to
Mhm.
ever hang out with.
Yeah.
Tarantino seems like an interesting as hell guy.
Yeah.
He
But-
seems like he would control the conversation.
I think all of them would
I think
try to. That
his would be over my head. He'd be quoting and
He'd be going
referencing
too
so
deep.
much, too
Yeah.
deep to where I'm like,
That's what I mean, controlling it
Yeah.
above your head as a fan. Where Kevin Smith would be like, "What'd you like about my movie? Tell me."
maybe Happy
Gilmore?
for Iron Man.
Favreau.
Favreau.
He does a lot of stuff,
Done
man.
from Chef to
Yeah.
the Marvel movies to he's
He's
doing
been-
Mandalorian,
which is amazing.
He's doing that,
Swingers.
really?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that-
Writing and directing some of them. So you got
his
some other
idea for
directors.
Baby Yoda.
Yep.
No kidding.
Yeah, I was listening to Kevin Smith's podcast, and he went to the sneak preview and got to see all the big shots, and he talked to him. He's like, "Man, that's amazing that you did that. So you knew that they were gonna have a Baby Yoda?" He's like, "Yeah, I wrote the series. That's me."
It is, yeah.
That's crazy. That's like the hottest thing on the internet right now is Baby Yoda.
He said, talking to him, he said that was the first time they've ever gotten Disney to agree not to release the merchandise
which is huge.
before it appeared. Because usually all the toys are
They
shown
want
absolutely.
before
They're printing money.
and that's how they knew, like, the Infantry Mandalorian was coming out. All the shows going back, movies, you could look at that toy. Well, then that's going to be big.
It's the
Right.
biggest spoiler for all big movies.
It was the first time they got them to agree, and then they released. That's why when it came out, it hit, and then all the marketing followed it.
Those memes are insane with Baby Yoda. Man, they have taken that character and put it in so many good memes.
From a Star Wars fan standpoint, it's a pretty big deal considering in movie canon, there's only two other species of the same, Yoda and a chick named Yaddle. That's it. George Lucas wrote it, and he wouldn't release anything about them, what the name of their species, where they're from, nothing. You just...
And Yoda was just old, right? I mean, in
900
the...
years
That Baby Yoda is 50 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yoda died around 910 years old, something like that. But there's a couple books which Disney does not consider part of the timeline anymore. They ousted all that.
It's not a part of the lure.
The canon, if
Right.
you will. There was two other ones that were kind of big names. So it's
That's
kind of a
weird.
big deal to introduce a brand new one. And still keeping with nobody knows what the hell it is.
You got any guesses
What
what it is? The species? I mean,
no.
You know? Oh, okay.
You'd have to ask George Lucas, and I don't think he knows because you watch some of like...
You imagine that conversation Farrell had to have?
Oh,
Like, with him? Like, this is what I want to do.
to put it in perspective, like some of the original trilogy, the older movies, Like you can have commentary from like George Lucas and other people that did it.
Right.
And George will go, yeah, when they went to the snow planet and fought the Sasquatch, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And he's saying all this weird, like, okay, you don't even know the planet was called Hoth. All right. But if you go to the art director, he did some interview stuff for it. He'd be like, yeah, so when they're on Hoth and they're in the caves of the Wampa and the blah, 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 he's like specifically.
He's a fan.
Yo, he's.
Right.
But George Lucas is like, yeah, and the tall, hairy one. You mean Chewbacca? Yeah, him. It's like.
So he had the grand vision, and he'd produce it, and then they would
create
all the specifics. Yeah. He even admitted that because that art director is his right hand. Mm-hmm. He said in interviews, he knows more about Star Wars than I do.
Yeah, you should ask him that. He'll tell you. It's like sitting down with George Lucas, and they'd be like, all right, so Yoda, what is he? He's green.
Right. He's old.
He's the wise mentor to.
He talks funny.
No. Where is he from? Oh, he's been around.
See, I think that adds some to it, and probably
the
to
mystery,
why it was so successful.
Because people kept asking him, and he was like, "Oh no, I'll never tell."
You got to have a steady frame of mind to keep that up. Like considering the amount of interviews you have to imagine George Lucas did over the career, right? Mm. So many reporters coming in. It'd be like being a politician. They try to get the gotcha moment.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if you got George Lucas? Somehow you had him.
He's like the Belichick of movies.
Right, but if you had that comfortable interview going and all of a sudden you
Instead
just
of the hoodie, he just wears
in.
flannel.
Yeah.
He's just like, no, that's what it is. Simple questions. Can I leave now?
I couldn't imagine if you were that journalist and you got him. Like he slipped.
It's because there's not one.
Yeah.
That's why you can't imagine it.
No, but I mean...
How many times have you heard of a George Lucas interview that wasn't controlled by him?
Right.
Yeah, it's set up in his world.
But everybody's got that slip
that
it happens, Well, not everybody. Obviously, he doesn't, but, if you were there for that moment and he slipped and was like, oh, Yoda is such and such species from XY planet, and you were like...
part of it is that he never created it.
It was his idea.
Like, I want this one that, we're never going to know the background of. So he just didn't write one. And that's the easiest. There's not one.
There you go.
That's true. So but he's never really lying to anybody either, and he has no secret to spill because there is no secret. Right.
Because I don't know. I get the vibe that that's what he does. He, creates it, and then for, the books and stuff, he'll name them.
The Edison effect, where he has the whole crew of people behind the curtain, like, I need this done. Go make me that.
Here's what we're going to do. It's going to be this, 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 and there, you guys come up with this, that, and him, no backstory. And
right. Don't worry about it. Skip over it. Yeah. Just make the character.
And then he'll watch it or read it, and he'll be like, no, you're going to change that. We're not going to do that. And then he has an idea for the whole thing, but no specifics.
I find that so frustrating as somebody who wants to write, because I think specifics are important, and it's so simple sometimes that they're not, but still I focus on them.
But if you had the money to go hire someone to come up with some of the specifics for you,
well, see,
I would feel like I'm cheating my own product at that point, and I'm not worth billions of dollars. So
you can confirm more, but no, try again.
I think the issue there is that you're comparing apples to oranges, because he wrote the original Star Wars, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
How old was he?
He was in college when he started it.
Okay, so
right.
You can say anywhere from 1825 range.
Just say 20 to call it good.
Okay, so he may not have had the technique to write all that backstory.
Yeah, no, probably not.
It was a young innocence and ignorance that he was able to write it, with all that, with just enough to get it done. Mm-hmm. And then that's why when they're like, well, what about this one's backstory? And he's like, I'm just happy I finished a book and got it published.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And then as he got older, he was like, I don't see any reason to go back and rewrite the history.
Right. Don't fix what ain't broken.
Yeah.
Just leave it.
That's why I believe when they ask him, like, oh, what is Yoda? Where's he come from and stuff? And he's like, hey, he's green. Because originally in the book, he's green. He's a great Jedi guy. And that's all. Boom, that's the character I needed for that book and that series, and he was only writing forward.
Right.
Very rarely going back unless he absolutely needed a backstory. So that's why when you're like, oh, he had all that money to do, to have these guys do it. Yeah, now he does. Mm-hmm. But the original concept?
Yeah, no. I think it was just as simple as he just didn't write it. Yeah, like you're saying. Like, I don't need a backstory for this character. It's just that character.
And then when everyone kept asking, he was like, oh, the mystery keeps driving it. Put it on a shelf. It's done.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
that business frame of mind to know, like I was saying
He was
before,
a genius.
to go into those interviews and not slip ever. But if he didn't have anything to slip,
Yeah.
then he didn't have to worry.
Right, but he also never said, I didn't write one. Right?
That's true.
Yeah.
So he never
Confirmed
squashed
or denied.
all of it. He just left it in that shroud of mystery that just built on everyone's, wondering passion and wanting to know.
So the safe in George Lucas's office is more like the briefcase in Pulp Fiction.
Maybe that's what the briefcase is.
Ooh.
He's had his hands in so much, though.
Kudos, Tarantino.
'Cause, once Star Wars started catching on, like, he was the first one to do toys, T-shirts, lunch boxes, merchandising.
Pause one quick second. You can continue. When he opened the briefcase, what color was it?
It's a yellowish glow.
I would say like a goldish kind of.
All right.
Like
It'd
a-
have been great if it was green. I would have been like, I nailed it.
or DC Universe, sorry.
Tweeting Tarantino now.
Hey, maybe 900 years ago, Yoda was gold.
It's parallax. All right, you can continue.
So he was the first one to do, like, merchandising on a
Right.
grand scale, even in, like, a lot of the contracts.
Flamethrowers.
He was gold.
Yeah.
The Schwartz.
There we go. Yo, good.
So a lot of the first wave of money came from that. All the toys, T-shirts, this, that, boom.
Yeah. Probably lunch boxes too back in the
Oh,
day
yeah.
for sure when kids still carried them.
And he funneled that into, like, all right, when they're making Star Wars, they didn't have the special effects to do a lot of stuff. No one could do it, so he had to come up with stuff.
Right.
So he started Industrial Light and Magic, the specialized special effects crew for his stuff. And then Spielberg's like, hey, I need this.
Right.
Since they're friends, yeah, come on down.
I got this movie called Back to the Future.
Yeah.
E.T.
So he was involved in the beginning of Pixar. Very beginning. Because when the guys worked at
Jeez,
Disney
oh, Pete.
and wanted to do computer animated stuff, they were like, no, we animate. And they're like, but we can do this stuff now. And it's like right at the beginning, and this, we could do so much, like the 3D hand moving and that. They're like, yeah, we don't want any of that.
Wasn't Toy Story the first Pixar film?
No.
No?
No.
It was the first feature length.
Oh, okay. All right.
But they did a lot of short films.
Yeah,
before
right.
then.
Yep.
But they went to George Lucas and Industrial Light and Magic like, hey, we want to start Pixar, this company. We got Steve Jobs from Apple backing us financially. We need your help because you guys are the cutting edge because this is what you do. Oh,
Right.
it doesn't exist? Oh, we need it to make for the movies. George Lucas is like, yeah, cool, I'll come in. Boom, Pixar. And Disney's like, yeah, we'll buy you back.
We'll pay the premium.
Yeah. To the point, which was funny because having Steve Jobs on the board of fucking Disney for quite a while because that was part of the deal. It was just interesting entanglement of how George Lucas just stumbling through, making my movies. Oh,
Right.
hey, this. Spielberg, yeah, you can do this for Indiana Jones. Oh, hey, you need this? Oh, yeah, cool. Hey, Jobs, what do you need? Oh, we're starting a company? I'm in.
Right.
Some of it was, I know he's credited as being a genius, but some of it
Luck.
was the will.
Oh, he said but.
Well, a lot of it was the willingness to just get the job done.
And go for it, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the movie, the reason he took the merchandising deal,
Because he finally got a producer to produce it for like 1/10 the budget he needed.
and that was the only way he could get the movie made.
Yep.
So rather than taking a cut of the movie, I think the normal cut.
Yeah,
he
like the
got
director fee in that, he was like
He was like-
negative 300% of what directors make. He
Yeah.
made.
And so he was like, well, just, I'll do all the merchandise and I'll take all that. And they were like, yeah, go.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah. Kind of like when Jack Nicholson signed on to Batman. He was like, yeah, I'll just take a cut of the merchandise on this show. And they were like, okay.
For real? Yeah,
Yeah.
sign them.
And they got him.
When
And
you
then
get that back
he
end
made-
deal, that's where you make
He
that
made
money.
more than anyone involved with the movie combined.
Right.
Oh, it's
Well-
like
It's insane.
Lord of the Rings. They wanted to get Sean Connery to play Gandalf. Fucking love this story. Guess they send him the script. He'd love you to do it. He was like, I don't know what the fuck this is. I tried reading it. Fuck you. No, I'm not a Gandalf or whatever the fuck with hobbits.
you have
Yeah.
walking
Sounds like
trees?
Sean Connery
Yeah.
saying it.
Imagine that in his accent. Like,
Right.
fuck you. Just like, no, not happening. And they kept going back with offers like, we'll give you this much. We'll give you this much. We'll give you this much. And he's like, no. They're like, we'll give you 10% of the gross of the film, merchandise, everything. And he's like, this is fucking stupid.
Oh my God.
Go away.
Yikes.
It would have been over, like, I think 10 billion overall. Something retarded.
Who
He
played
missed out.
Gandalf?
God, what is it? Ian McKellen.
Yeah. So you know why he took it, right?
Because he
was
heard
a
Sean Connery turned it
No.
down?
No, he was a huge fan, actually. Or no, that was
Yeah, that was someone else.
it was Lee. Christopher Lee was a huge fan. He actually knew Tolkien. He drank with him in bars back in the
So the reason he took it, he didn't understand it either. It was his granddaughter that was like, "You're gonna do this movie?
Oh,
I
yeah.
love this movie or
Right.
this
Book.
book.
Right,
This
right.
is amazing." And he's like, "Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I'll do it." So he did it for her.
He hated doing it too because a lot of his was in front of a green screen where
Right.
he had to act alone.
He's
He
a
was like-
classical.
He's a like theater actor,
Yeah.
well known.
That's got to be.
And then he comes to do this, and he's like, and it's just him on this gigantic set of green screen. And I have to act with these people I can't see because he's talking to the hobbits, but the hobbits can't be there because of scale and that, and they have to be like synced up. And he was like, oh, it was fucking so like isolated and lonely.
Right.
He was like, there was very few times where it was fun.
That would suck.
Yeah.
It's like when the first Star Wars came
Until
out.
they gave me a check.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Who played him?
Oh God, sir, what is his name?
That's as far as I got with it.
Sir.
Yeah, I knew he was knighted
Yo, hey, he's famous
because he's
actor.
also a classical
big
theater
big.
actor from over.
God, I hate this garage. It's just a black hole of information.
I don't know. I think we've been all right so far.
We've been doing pretty good, but I know this
Oh,
one.
it is not Ian McGregor.
No, he played the Clone Wars trilogy.
Ben,
Ben Kingston?
No.
No.
I think you were thinking
I-
Ben Kingsley.
Or Kingsley, not Kingston, yeah. I just know.
yeah, I guess in that movie he was known as Ben Kenobi, wasn't he?
Just look up A New Hope.
Oh yeah, you just looked up the movie. I definitely went the.
You tried to figure out the actor name?
You took the long route.
I'm
Yeah.
searching something I don't know.
Alec Guinness.
Yeah. So the reason he got the part was because they didn't believe anyone was going to go see this stupid space movie. Because none of the other actors were known.
Right.
I mean, Darth Vader was James Earl Jones.
Not even.
No, that's right.
That came towards the end. Even the guy who played Darth Vader didn't know because he read all the lines in like the Darth Vader-ish voice.
And they just
And
dubbed
when he
it
went to
over.
see the movie, he was like, "Oh,
That's right.
that's not me."
So they got him to play it so that they had some legitimacy.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess if you look at the trailer that they played for it, he was big in the trailer.
Yeah.
They centered around him because he was a well-known name.
He was the only name.
Yeah.
They were like, this is the only way we're going to get people in theaters. You got to take him, and we're going to make him the focal point of the movie.
He made out well in that movie too.
What year did that come out?
77.
77.
A New Hope came out in 77.
I wonder what was hot then. Like in the theater, you know what I mean? If you were to go back and look, what
We'll go back
I
and
always
look.
say if you know
If we could, if
and
we
it-
had the
I forget-
technology.
it's because my phone isn't that quick out here in the stupid garage. But just wondering, like, when did Jaws come out? It had to have been around the same time, wasn't it?
Close.
Late 70s?
Very close.
I think it. Yeah, I want to say 75, 76, maybe 74. Jaws.
Let's see. Close Encounters of a Third Kind, Saturday Night Fever.
75 Jaws.
Okay, so
Okay.
2 years off.
Saturday Night Fever was up against Star Wars.
Suspiria, great movie. The Spy Who Loved Me.
Is that Bond?
That was a Bond movie, right? Yeah.
Connery.
I never got into Bond movies either. The video game was cool.
Goldeneye. There's
Yeah.
only one that was good.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I love the meme showing the two kids playing. The one has a cardboard box over his head to go to the half split screen and down his back, and the brother's playing on the top. This is how we used to play multiplayer. Stop looking at my screen.
Plug my controller back in.
My boy's so bad at that. We'll be playing the games and shooting each other, and then he'll like sneak in the back and kill me. I'm like, you looked at my screen. No, man, I just knew you were there.
Mm-hmm.
You looked at my screen. Well, it's right there, Dad. How do you not? Like you just don't trust me.
Years of training, young
That's
Yoda.
You would never make it in Goldeneye.
Nope.
You'd be banned.
Well, for a while when we were younger, we would hook up two systems and link them.
Doom was the first game that we were able to do that.
that,
Get two
yeah.
PlayStations, hook up two TVs, and just face them against.
Yeah.
We used to have those all the time.
And then we, years and years and years later, we did that with poker. And now poker's legal here. Smooth transition, baby. Because I know you brought this up in a text message. You wanted to talk about it a little bit. Online gaming is now legal, and sports betting. Was it January or February 4th, I think, is when it gets signed?
I think so.
I think it's February.
They're just waiting on the governor's signature, which she already said she would sign.
I thought she already signed it.
Not yet. To my knowledge, not yet.
But it's a holiday break.
But then all the casinos have to come up with the apps.
Or you can go to the casino.
Yeah.
Because they'll have
they'll have the room set up too, but they have to come out with sports betting apps. Have to.
Well,
I'm sure, yeah.
They'll be missing out on so much money if they don't.
They're probably already in the, beta stage or whatever they call that?
no, they're just starting.
Oh, really?
Because it's not going to be hooked into all the other states. There's only a couple states that are interconnected right now.
Us, Illinois, and
I think we're the 11th or 13th state.
No, what I mean is in Michigan, you're only going to play against Michigan players.
Oh, yeah.
Pennsylvania's tied in with Nevada, and there's a couple of the states
Probably Atlantic City, too.
that are tied in that makes it a bigger player pool, which is great. Because if you get it approved in, like, Delaware and they only stick to their state, you're not going to see the amount of... Well,
13 farmers playing blackjack against each
revenue
other.
that's they're telling would be generated, it's generally based off of interconnected statewide, multi-state connection.
Now, see, wouldn't it be in, like, Canada's best interest to try and connect with Detroit because the Windsor Casino's right there and they already have it, just to try and...
I wouldn't say that would be their best interest. I think it would be their
wise interest.
A wise interest, yes.
Okay.
But connecting with Nevada is probably the top.
That's the best interest, absolutely. Okay.
Actually, that's right. I did say this. December 19th. That's when she signed it.
Oh, okay.
So 2 days ago, yeah. Right before Christmas break, obviously. So it gets time to get voted against, or not voted against, but like appealed or something. So I'm sure there's people that are going to have a problem with it. Somebody's going to have a fucking problem
with it.
Once
she signed it, it's already past the point of everyone arguing
Really?
about it.
Okay, good. Because I was hearing a lot of complaints that this was going to lead to prostitution next.
Which has been a rumor for quite a while.
Yeah. But so is sports betting.
Yeah, because they've been looking at Windsor, who's right across the fucking river, and how well they're doing with all that.
So one of the big things that led to it being okayed is the revenue that's generated by online gaming will go to support the school aid fund and the responders coverage fund.
I did hear that. Yeah. And that's a good thing.
That is.
As long as the money actually goes there.
Kind of like, how they keep changing stuff. Well, it's for the roads.
Right. Or the lotto. Yeah. We've been told for our whole lives that the lotto went to schools. It didn't go to our schools.
Nope.
It might have went to the schools with higher tax brackets, but it didn't come here.
So the Michigan sports betting bill authorizes casinos to open retail sports books and launch up to one mobile betting platform in partnership with third-party providers such as DraftKings, Bet365, and so on.
Okay.
I'm sure FanDuel will have a foot in the door there somewhere. And
sports betting is going to be taxed at 8.4% by the state, while municipalities with the casinos may assess an additional 1.25% fee.
Detroit.
Make it 10.
Operators subject to a $50,000 application fee, $100,000 licensing fee, annual $50,000 renewing fee.
That's not a whole lot for them.
No, drop in the bucket there.
Got to be 21.
But they were even talking about the Indian casinos are getting in on it too. So
why not, right?
Yeah, you have to, because
they have to compete. Because if you don't have a sports book, they're going to go to somewhere that does.
Right.
Well, no, it's because
especially on an app.
The reason
part of
their lobby, the Indian reservations lobby, the casino lobbies are the two biggest proponents in it.
Yep.
And a lot of them have statutes already in place that they have
to be included.
They have to be included, and if they veto it, it's vetoed. Tax rates start at 20% for operators with avenue revenue under $4 million, increased to a maximum of 28% if they exceed 12.
Which I guarantee
Detroit
in a year,
casinos are subject to an additional 1.25% tax on revenue.
What was the trade-off we were talking?
What's that
trade-off you were talking about? How they get a special tax relief or something? The Detroit casinos. We were talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
I forget exactly what you were saying. And I know it's hard to bring up that information so quick, but
so I guess I did not save that article. I saved the other 3. So I think it has to do with the online gaming is taxed at a gradual rate depending on the amount of revenue.
Okay.
So that's where since it's only Michigan and it's all for sports betting and that, they have it set up so that it's like a 20% for under 4 million, and I think a lot of them are expecting it to be.
Oh, it's guaranteed. The 12 million mark should hit at most sports books.
You got to remember, each casino in Michigan is going to be able to have one.
Yeah.
And they're only betting with Michigan.
Yep.
So I don't think they're going to be getting up to that much, depending on.
Really, I think they will. I think sportsbook is going to be a bigger thing than you're anticipating.
Well, the whole reason to get it passed, the poker was just tagged on to the sports betting. The sports betting is what got it through.
Oh, yeah.
Easily. But I believe it has something to do with now the casinos or the casino lobbies can now donate to political parties.
Oh.
Oh, that's what it was.
I believe that's what it was, but I apparently did not save that article in the 3 that I saved with all of it.
I thought it would have something to do with the Lions fans. We'd rather go to the casino and bet on all the other games than go to
the primers,
the Prime Stadium.
Oh, man.
The primers.
Get primed for this season. Oh, there's so
Their
much you
color
can do.
rush uniform is going to be cardboard.
and instead of like the color, you know how they have like the silver bands that go around, it's going to be the tape.
Oh.
The packaging tape with Amazon Prime.
Embroidered smiley face on every fucking jersey.
That's their helmet stickers.
The captain's going to have the Prime logo.
Oh. I'll bet on them.
Oh. Well, no. We'd have to give a better nickname because you can't have Megatron on the Detroit Prime. Optimus Prime.
I don't know. Bezos could buy that nickname from Calvin Johnson, and maybe
He probably
he can.
could. He could bring him back and be like, hey, you want to be on a winning team?
He'd be the
He'll
coach.
just buy the Transformers franchise.
There you go, right.
Hey, Hasbro, welcome to Amazon.
I heard you own Death Row Records. Yeah. I think I'm going to get you. I'm just going to buy you.
Bonus.
We got a nice 12th floor office for you at the Rensen. You're all set up, baby. I'll go down there and gamble on some stuff. Absolutely. If I have the, expendable money.
Yeah.
Just get the app.
Yeah,
Well,
We'll get the app, too.
just make sure you listen to Rick.
He has
Hey,
a better
man.
percentage from what I hear.
Tell you what, that guy can pick some football games. I don't know how he does it.
Hey,
Darts.
Rain Man.
He does that damn thing, too, where he'll message me and be like, oh, I'm going to be 0-2 here soon, and then go 2-0. I'm like, you don't do that.
Just looking for positive reinforcement.
I'm looking forward to gambling on some. The online game or betting, as far as poker, though, did you guys cover that when I was out of the room? How's that going to work? Is it part of it or no?
As
Online?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Like-
part of it.
So what? You'll have a say Greektown app, and you'll go on there and you'll play
that
poker.
still has to be
Sorted
figured out.
Yeah.
Like in Vegas, the only I believe they only have one online poker site, and it's WSOP.
Yeah. It's because they bought the rights or
That's the one where you pay like a monthly, or no? That's
No, it's
World Series.
World Series of
I'm
Poker.
thinking a World Poker Tour.
Nah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So, but I would assume since all the casinos have to be involved, that they're all they all pulled in and they're all getting a cut of the
Yeah.
online action.
So, like, say,
So it'd be
Party
one
Poker,
app.
or
Could
someone
be.
could come in and be like, hey, we're going to be the host for them.
That was kind of where I was going. Like, will Full Tilt be?
Oh, I don't
They're
think,
gone.
Yeah, they're not a thing.
It's not even overseas anymore.
No.
I don't think so.
I thought they were still running operations
they
overseas.
did for a while, but I think they phased that out.
Yeah, because
and
the
now it's all
court
Poker
stuff.
Stars.
Okay.
Like Poker Stars, you can't even play that in Las Vegas. Wow. Because it's regulated in only certain ones, and
Gotcha.
that's why I say we got to wait and see what ones come up. Depending on who's leading it, if they're going to take the lead and get
they're gonna
the
have bids on
software
it,
from other, or if they're going
yeah.
to design their own.
Or they can license the software from Party Poker, just have it as their own little hub that's
Or
not really
that's the-
connected to them. They just use their,
That's the third largest online poker site.
yeah.
Party Poker is?
Yeah.
Really?
First is
Poker Stars.
Poker Stars.
World Series of Poker, number 2. No,
It's a Chinese one. I forget the name.
it's not Ignition, is it?
Nope.
That
No,
was the
no.
last one I played on.
Because Aaron and I were talking
Carbon, remember that one? We played on
do.
that one for a while. That was actually, we had a mobile app for
really?
Carbon that you could play like legit betting, cash table poker tournaments and shit. Yeah. That was when we were still at the pizzeria because we would sit back there and play Carbon poker on our phones.
So the site, Negranu just signed with them.
Yeah, because he's the
Oh, well, shit.
sponsor, or not. I don't even know what.
Got to be
technical
legit
affiliate.
then. I'm down
Oh,
if he's on board.
GG Poker,
GG.
second largest online poker site
Just
in the
two
world.
GG.
GG Poker.
Huh.
Asia, baby.
Huge in Asia. They have the best mobile app because over in Asia, everyone plays on their phone.
Mm.
You can sell pieces of yourself on the site.
Dang.
It keeps your ROI, your last finishes, your highest finish, all that.
Woo.
That's
That's pretty big.
Yeah, he's very happy with them.
Nice.
I can't wait to play some more poker.
Oh, I'm excited.
I know. I just got Sundays off to play too.
Wow. There's still hope for that.
A new hope.
A new hope. New year, new me, that kind of thing.
Hashtag it.
We covered some ground tonight, fellas.
Yeah,
That was fun. Feels good to be back.
it really does.
I'd say before we get out of here for tonight, maybe one thing we should do since we didn't do is officially pick a winner of the can there. Was that a Halloween costume of the Goonies? Or is that
NECA?
That
Those are toys.
like a wax museum thing?
Those-
those are toys?
those are new toys. New 8-inch Goonie scale sloth and chunk 2-pack by NECA.
NECA doesn't mess around. Have you seen their shredder?
Yes.
Oh my god. Everything is every detail is accurate.
Really?
Yeah.
NECA?
NECA.
Yeah, they're the biggest action figure maker.
Oh yeah.
Like they have different outfits for chunk.
Wow.
They're expensive as heck, but they're badass.
Huh. They're bigger than what? What was the Hugh McFarlane toys? Are they bigger than
McFarlane's
that?
still the biggest
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
because they are the biggest sports action figurine.
There was another one too that was doing a lot of the wrestling figures for the better part of the decade. Something started with a J, maybe, or
I honestly
something.
think that
McFarlane.
Titan Industries bought them out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know McFarlane was in for a minute, so he may have had something to do with it, but that was early on.
We'll save that for the next time.
All right.
Let's do this real quick. You got a vote aside from? I think we're in agreement still.
Oh,
Number
yeah.
one, right? Are we doing the dumb app thing that you look at? He's already loading it up.
He's excited.
He don't even care. He's like, yeah, give me the one on the end with
He could
the,
be, yeah. Well, first, should we voice our opinions before we get to the app?
What we're talking about here is the can of the year, the label of the year that when we were doing the Michigan craft beers, we had our shelf set up here before our holiday break, and we never really kind of decided on a Lampies season 2, so the way our show jumped around, it was not a big deal. But as far as the can goes, I'm thinking it's maybe time to crown a winner.
We should.
Let's call it good. I'm still voting for Electron Brown, so I guess that's up to you guys then. He's just like,
He got excited.
Right,
then
he
that
just give me a different
slow
one, so
turn
he's-
back and staring me in my soul.
let's just hit the
What are you
damn
taking?
app.
What are you taking?
I'm the guest, so I'll go last.
Oh, okay. I am kind of torn because the Michigan Amber is a lovely, lovely label. And since Aaron already has the app out, I might as well pick something different.
Right.
So I'm going to go with Michigan Amber. And Aaron goes, shit, that's what I was going to pick.
We did just talk about the Goonies, and that's up there.
It's true. Now, if he picks either Michigan Amber or Electron Brown, that is a 2-1, right?
Yeah, but we had 2-1, and we still ended up with
That is
season 1's
unfortunately
winner.
correct,
So
yeah.
I'll go with the odd side.
Which one?
Oh, is there multiple?
The Juicy?
that's the only odd side up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't see another one.
Okay. So,
Just so we can use your
Wow.
app. That's why you're doing that.
yeah, that is specifically why he chose that.
Tradition.
I know, but you should pick the Goonies.
I'm a
one.
loyalist.
All right.
The Goonies one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one in the middle.
Broody traps. It's data, baby.
Oh
We were just talking about the Goonies.
Yeah. I do enjoy the label on Juicy from outside.
It's been there a while.
Yeah. But I'm saying Michigan Amber.
All right, and I got what is his name? Bison from Street Fighter. That's what I got. Well, we just put our fingers on the app,
Just
right?
put your finger on there.
Do we count down?
No.
Ooh, I'm magenta. God damn it.
How does this happen?
Best 2 out of 3?
Tradition. That is a great way to
He
end
closes
it.
the app. That's a no.
Yeah.
That was a no.
Wow. And this is
Oh,
the last
man.
time Aaron gets his vote.
Yeah, right. You just lost your vote.
God. All right. So let's pick the runner-up. Going electronic.
No, we can go Michigan Amber.
All right. We can break
It's all
up
tainted now, anyways. Officially, unofficially, the
another
half
year,
one,
another
and-
asterisk.
right.
Tradition.
Jeez.
I think that thing's programmed for your finger.
That's pretty messed up. Wow.
Like, yes,
No. It's a completely random app.
I
You
know.
say that.
We used it like 7 times last
Yeah.
year for a bunch of different categories. So we're gonna do it one more time just for fun. Ready, you go.
If he wins again,
See, why didn't you do that the first time?
because your phone's cheap.
No, I don't have an Apple.
Ooh. All right. Well, congrats to Oddside for winning.
Womp, womp, womp.
However, it made it.
Stick with me. I'll make you a winner, kid.
Fixing fights we are.
Right. Since we're talking about the beer real quick, and I know we don't do it anymore, but we can. It's still always an option to bring some beer, and we'll drink it
Okay.
while we bullshit. Beards. I saw it at the local party store on the corner. They made it down here.
Finally.
3 different. One was 2 IPAs, and one was the D's Nuts.
Okay.
Like
It's the hazelnut brown,
yeah,
I think.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yep. I almost bought it out of principle because it was here, and I was like, oh shit.
Glad
So who
their
knows?
operation is spreading.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have some next time.
Fucking shit.
Don't you ever get that feeling that it's meant to be?
No,
As-
I don't.
I do.
Well,
I do too. I get
Very
the feeling,
rarely.
yeah, right.
And it's usually on trivial stuff like this.
a win's a win, I guess.
Back-to-back years. It's being retired as I'm just the champion.
You're 2-0.
2-0.
You're the Patriots.
So of this group,
Yeah.
combined scores, I'm 2-0 and you guys are 0-4.
Just on that one category.
Yeah.
The important one. The championship.
The one we
category.
did this year to make him 2-0.
Yeah.
That's,
That's
right.
that's why it's important.
Maybe we should have waited till next episode.
Merry Christmas to me.
Yeah, right. Merry Christmas to everybody.
You just had to think positive going into it.
I was.
I tried to help you. I gave you a can of positivity.
It's a true story.
Now it looks
You
like
didn't
he's
open it.
laughing at me.
It's just a happy little
Yeah,
accident. That's
happy
all it
little
was.
accident.
It's a happy little accident.
That's all it was. Yeah, so this has been fun. Looking forward to the next time.
I will be here next time.
Yeah, right.
Here on out.
Yeah,
It's good to be back.
yeah. Good to be back in full swing.
Going back to our beginnings.
Because we know that all of you missed us. And we missed you.
I missed us.
Aaron's kind of quiet over there. But it's fine. He's just glowing in his win.
Reveling.
That's right. Damn it. Well, until next time. We'll see y'all next time. That was a lot longer than 30 seconds.
That
We'll have
was,
to
yeah.
do
I
that
thought
all
that-
again.
The one you were like, all right, and then do, and I thought that was
There
the
it
end,
was.
and then that was a long ass 30 seconds.